What's up, everybody?
Hey.
How you doing? This is CashFlow Conversations with Mari Kemp, and I'm the co-host, Akil Wade. How's everybody doing this fine, wonderful evening? All right, let's get right to it.
Let's get it.
Because we always be having these amazing conversations that everybody wants to be a part of, apparently. Okay, so we were, kind of going into it a little earlier, but, talk about setting up the business, starting with, of course, the infamous LLC.
Yeah. So we get this a lot. We get a lot of questions on how do you start an LLC? What do you have to do? Blah, blah, blah. So because this comes up often, I'm like, okay, let's break this down in steps.
Break it down in steps,
Let's just break it down so it's clear, everybody understands, this is what you do. Now, I would also recommend you consult with someone who knows the stuff very well around taxes. Make sure you have a mentor around your business plan, and make sure you have a really good go-to-market strategy. We need to bring to the market things that are relevant. So when we're thinking about our business plans, they can't be things that are kind of like phasing out. Like if you think about storefronts. Opening a storefront and selling clothes. People don't shop at stores anymore. You can do all of that online. So just make sure that you're thinking through this properly. Let's start from the very beginning. Identify your market. Build your business plan. Have it all clearly laid out.
Right.
And part of this goes back to a conversation we had a while back about that accountability group. Share your business plan with your accountability group. Get some ideas, perspectives, like, I don't know if that really resonates with me. I think it doesn't make sense. Like, take the positive and the negative criticism about your business plan.
Don't get offended.
Don't get offended. I mean, this is business, right? In business, emotion cannot exist.
Can't exist, exactly.
So it's all about what you're going to do to help leverage yourself. So you come up with your business plan, and then once you do that, then you come up with your name. What is the name of it? And that should be on the front of your business plan. Make sure it's catchy. It's something that will resonate with your market once you identify, and that's in your business plan. Your demographics, your target market, your locations, your go-to-market strategy, all of those things. So then once all of that is figured out, and honestly, you can probably do this in parallel. Open your LLC. Go to irs.gov. You can do it on LegalZoom, which is pretty easy. Get your tax ID number. Once you have your tax ID number, then get your Duns & Bradstreet number. Once you get your Duns & Bradstreet number, you start to build credit. Duns & Bradstreet, I kind of think it's like a social security number for a business.
Okay,
And so there's multiple ways on how to establish and build business credit, and you can Google that all day long. We don't have to go in that level of detail. And then open a bank account. And once you have and open your bank account, then you start establish your accounting software. Like what software are you going to use to establish your cash flow, your revenue generation, your spend.
Like use like Excel,
you mean stuff
Excel,
like that, or people typically do QuickBooks.
QuickBooks.
There's a lot of different platforms out there, but the reason why you want to establish where that's going to be, because in business you do taxes quarterly. And so when you do taxes quarterly, you want to be able to just send the information somewhere versus let me go in my file cabinet and dig it up and look for all my 10,000 papers so I can give it to the tax professional. You want to be able to give them, here, I'll send you the file. Matter of fact, I'll give you access as a tax professional. You can go through and look what you have then generate the business taxes. Get organized. And once that's all set, you're good. Be ready to execute on your business plan. So again, this goes back to that accountability group. Talk about it. Your mentor. Who's your mentor? Who's going to be that person to be like, so what did you do? And who's going to say, okay, so this timeline was in your business plan. What happened? Why are you off? You got to have that person to be like, this is exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. This is actually derailing. Why are you doing it? So your mentor is not your friend. Your mentor is that person who's going to keep you accountable. Your accountability group is the same people who are going to keep you accountable on your timelines, your goals, and your expectations. So I'll stop there, but that's the steps. There's
That's
5
the-
steps.
Right.
Okay?
The
That's how you
main
started. So there's no reason. And guess what? You can find this on 50,000 other websites, right?
Right. Exactly.
What's keeping you from executing is you, right? And part of being an adult is understanding that in order to be successful and to change your legacy and really propel it and help grow to a whole new dimension is doing all the stuff that you don't want to do. And so this is something that's not comfortable. A lot of you haven't done it before, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable and actually execute on the 5-step process.
And just kind of remind people that, you know, there's no one right way. Like you could, like you listed, you know, 2 different websites alone, and there's really many. I've seen people talk about free ways to set up, you know, I'm like, there's always a way to do it, you know, you know, I know people think, oh, but if I don't do it this way, then it's wrong, or, you know.
You can have 10 LLCs. You don't just have to have one.
Right.
You can have multiple LLCs. It doesn't have to be that complicated. I do think that there's also LLCs, there's S corps, there's C corps. Like, figure out what's right for you. It's not just one way, like you said. Bring the right people in your network. You're going to need a tax professional. You're going to need someone who's done this in the past or are doing it already. Like, talk to another shop owner. Talk to a person who's already doing it and just say, hey, can I pick your brain? You can't be, don't let your ego and your arrogance get in the way of you being successful. Be humble. Even if you, like, I have $10 million, I can do this myself. Take the time and really get the information you need so you can actually do it right, because you can blow that 10 million just as fast.
Just as fast, right. Thinking you done figured it out.
Right, exactly.
So there's no one wrong or right way to do, you know, you can do it any type of way you want. Now, you know, how difficult was it for you to find out a name? Because there's so many names and you got to make sure you don't accidentally get somebody. Well, they'll let you know now, you know, if you got a name that's already used. But, you know, I guess kind of go into, like, you know, don't get so caught up in a name. Don't let anything stall you from progressing forward, you know, because you can always change your name. At a later date.
You can always change it. You can also do a DBA, which is doing business as later. Like, don't let little things catch you up and keep you from doing the big things. So, you can have multiple names. You can change it. You can open another LLC, whatever you want to do. It's all about cash flow.
Right,
Get to the cash flow. Like, don't get tripped up on all these little things. Get to execution.
Now, talk to the person who, you know, is just working a regular job. They're not sure what they want to do, but they want to do something to make some money. Is this the best thing for them to do first, is to start an LLC? Or should they do, we were kind of talking about it before, like a side hustle first, figure out something, then go on to the whole LLC or, you know, whatever route?
I mean, there's nothing that stops you you can create an LLC anytime. It's just good to have a plan. You can create an LLC and sit on it. You just have to prepare to do the taxes and all those things that come with it. You can create it anytime. I think that I applaud and admire anyone who has a day job and are thinking of other streams of income. I'm very concerned about the workers. I call them the workers because it's just like those people who are just like, I got my job. Go home and, you know, meanwhile the world is crumbling around them, but they're at home flipping through TV and believing the news. So I admire that person who works a full-time job and is thinking of other streams of income. When you're thinking of other streams of income, again, this is just like going to be an investor. Do as much research as you can. Like, find people who are also doing it as well. Do what you can. Like, even if it's a baby idea, brainstorm. Throw stuff against the wall. You know, sometimes I get a marker and write on my own windows in my house, like, because I know I can erase it, right? But it's like you're doing something that's against the grain. And so you're also thinking about, okay, this is how I want to brainstorm. This is how I want to think about it. So I would say if you're working a full-time job, beautiful. Right? But you have to, just because you have a job doesn't mean you stop creating and you stop building. Your whole purpose on this planet is to create build, and live in abundance. You're not going to be doing that working on someone else's creation and innovation.
Right.
Right.
And then talking about you too tired to do anything after.
No. Your job is that's what you do. But make sure you create time to do you as well.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's
it's the worker world is definitely a concern for sure.
Yeah. No, yeah, seriously, because I mean it's so crazy to me and obviously to you that, you know, people they'll spend 8, 9, 10, 12 hours on a job, but then won't even spend an hour you know, just thinking about, like you said, just brainstorming. I mean, you ever tried to brainstorm with people sometimes? It's some people who just ain't there, and it's like
because they're not used to learning anymore. Like I mean, the school systems are essentially set up to memorize, but it's still not unless you put your schools and your children intentionally in schools that create. That allow you to innovate, think outside the box. It's more like memorize this thing for the test. Then you get the test, you pass it with an A, you move on. So people really have not leveraged their brain to learn anything outside of a book or an already constructed framework.
Right.
Which makes them almost about 5 years old in the space of creativity. Because the last time they created something was like, maybe they drew something in the class and it was like, you know, with a bunch of other kids and they're not creating anymore. So if you don't really create that intention to, okay, I want to build something. Okay, so what does that look like? I want to build an app. Probably have never built an app in your life. Great.
Right.
What do I do?
Right. Yeah.
So how do I connect? And so you start building and what happens when you do that is you start creating, your brain starts to wake up again.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing the stuff that you're uncomfortable with, that's when you really start living. And like, so I take cold showers, by the way. I just get in there and I'm like, whoo. It's cold, but it's because it's a shock.
Yeah, it's a shock. Yeah.
When I brush my teeth, I intentionally brush with my left hand.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to continue to get my brain to not be comfortable. Right? So I would definitely highly recommend whatever you're doing, and it's so hard. I'm telling you, I mean, my friends, we're all from the go to school, get a job world. That's what our parents told us. Yeah. And to get them to think outside of that is so painful.
It's tough.
But they're scared to do it.
Right.
Yeah. But you can't live your entire life on another person's dream.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
That's very true.
You have to create something of your own.
So it's like, you know, and you know, because I'm always trying to tell people too that, you know, okay, fine. If you can't start the LLC right away, or, you know, some people are like, oh, how much is it going to cost? You know, all that. It's like, okay, fine. Like you said, just figure out what you're trying to do. Figure out, you know, what it is you want to do. Or, you know, just experiment with some stuff. Like, okay, you know, this looks like a good business. I saw somebody else doing it. Let me try. You know, even that is okay, you know, because it's like at least you're going outside of that box that you've been put in,
right? To
where, you know, you're not just working and you know, wondering why you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was a shift for me because I'm at the point where I won't associate with people who aren't dynamic, high performing, and hardworking. I don't want them around me. Yeah. I don't want the energy near me. Like I'm very careful who I even allow in my home. I used to be like, yeah, let's have a party. Right. But now, and the next day I'm like saging my house. I'm like, oh my God. I gotta watch that energy, you know. But now I'm far more selective. And it's like the people you talked about, oh man, how much does it cost? Right. In the conversation. Right. Because you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, there is no more energy I can give you once I hear an excuse. Ooh. The excuses, I can't do. Jesus. Especially when you hear from, like, men and women who are grown. You can tell me 50 reasons why you can't do something, but you can't give me one reason why you can. Those are the people you steer clear from. Ooh. And it's no shade. Everybody has their own journey in life, and maybe one day they'll get there. Yeah. But it's not my job to help you. Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. And personally, everybody has a cell phone in their hand. Anybody can create a business. Yo. But they choose to continue to do the things that they do every day. So I would also say, if you are a worker, and you
I like
have an
that, worker.
idea, because it doesn't matter what title and it doesn't matter how much you make. The problem is it's not your idea.
Yeah.
You're
No,
working for someone else. Like, that's not something you should be proud of, right?
Yeah.
You should have something else that you're doing or incubating that you're building that's yours.
Yeah.
Because your whole point, and this is not everybody's dream, but I know my whole point is I want to make sure the world knows I was here, that I made impact, that you see me duplicated over and over again through my children. So that means I can't sit on the couch. That means I can't be comfortable. That means I have to do all the shit I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm breaking walls. I'm breaking ceilings.
Yeah.
Comfortably, right? So, I think that's what I have to say on that.
Ooh, I love it. Okay, so now, tell people in terms of, once you get the LLC going, and even once you got the business plan, all set up and ready to go, I guess kind of share the realities of, you may not be making money right off the bat.
Yeah.
You may not be, profitable for a long while. I remember watching the documentary about Amazon. Even they didn't make a profit. Obviously, for decades almost.
Right.
And so it's like, but they kept going. And so because I know that's a thought that people do have, is that they want that immediate
instant gratification.
I know if I start this, I'm gonna start making money. And then when they realize, oh wait, I'm not gonna say too much about it, but I I know some folks that started something and then it ended pretty quick because they just weren't making the money that they thought they would be after seeing somebody else do it on Instagram. But it's like they've been doing it, for I don't know how long, and
and it looks easy, right? So
it looks easy, yeah.
The biggest thing I hear are questions like this. What's the easiest way to start a business? What's the easiest way to get a six-pack? Right? What's the easiest way to change my diet?
Uh-oh.
How about none of these things are easy? And why are we even looking for it to be easy? Is it because that's comfortable for us? You want easy.
That's what it is. It's comfortable.
You want easy. You want instant gratification. You want, you don't have to work for your food. Your food gets delivered by DoorDash. You go to the grocery store. You don't have to kill a cow. You don't have to harvest your own vegetables.
Right.
We are so dependent on easy.
Yep.
That it's actually scary because we're so dependent on something else.
Almost like we're going backwards in a way, right?
Like you have no life skills.
Oh, man.
So if you're starving, or if your family's starving, and the grocery store closes, where are you going?
It's so crazy you just said that, because I was literally thinking about this. My wife watches Survivor and stuff, right? And so, and then other shows like Naked and Afraid, stuff like that. Anyways, I'm like, the earth provides all this stuff, the food, everything. And so to your point of, going hungry, I'm like, why is anybody going hungry? Because you could really plant everything you need right in your backyard, and you got
in your
food
front yard.
in your front yard.
When you drive past homes, you see these lavish, beautiful green lawns.
Yeah.
But if you're hungry one day, where are you gonna
go? Exactly.
Where you have nothing. You have nothing to offer. So the problem with easy is that it creates laziness, complacency, and dependency.
Say it again.
Right?
That is.
And so stop asking what's the easiest way. Just tell me how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
And then actually execute, follow up, and do it. That then comes the discipline and the focus. And again, we talked about fear. Yeah. You're going to fear for the moment, like, oh man, that's a lot of work. Oh my God, I got to get off of work and then do something else. Oh man, that's a lot of work. No, it's not a lot of work. You're just lazy. You're just fucking lazy. Stop being lazy,
You better tell them.
Right? You're lazy. You're comfortable with status quo. You're comfortable with being controlled. You're comfortable with things that are easy. But you literally have no value to this planet because of that. So I would just recommend get comfortable with it being hard. The six-pack abs, it's hard to do. It's not easy.
It's hard, yeah.
Sticking to a diet is hard to do. It's not easy. Starting a business is hard to do. It's not easy. And also the follow-through is hard to do. It's not easy. You're going to feel like, oh man, you know what? I shouldn't have started this business. I'm going to go back and work at whatever company. I'm just going to go back. Why? Because I get this infusion of my check on the 15th and the 30th, and I'll just spend that. You get punished. But the thing is, what makes you successful is not about motivation.
Yeah.
It's not about how you feel. You have to get out your feelings. We talked about that. Get out your feelings.
Get out your feelings.
Your feelings cannot control you.
Yeah.
And it's doing what you hate doing what you dislike doing what you don't feel like doing. Yeah. That's what breaks the barriers for success. And so when you are able to constantly break it, and the point of why I take a cold shower, why I wash my hand, I brush my teeth with my left hand, why I go to my trainer who kills me, it's not because I want to do it. I feel like doing it every single day. It's because I'm telling my brain, I control you.
Yeah. Ooh.
So I control you, therefore I'm doing the things that make you feel uncomfortable so you can keep on doing things that are uncomfortable and you don't get comfortable.
Ooh. We need to just have a whole episode about being comfortable and uncomfortable. Because I mean, my goodness, it's so crazy because, there is this sort of there's this procrastination, this lack of enthusiasm that naturally happens in a sense, but you have to go, you know what, despite all of that, I'm gonna do it anyway because and then believe it, well, obviously you know this, but for those who's listening, you'll be surprised at how much you actually get done when you do stuff that's uncomfortable. It's like, oh, you know what? I know I stayed up a lot later than I should have, but I was able to finish this and finish that, or I woke up earlier. I don't know how many people do the Kevin Hart thing, waking up at 3-4 in the morning. But sometimes that you got to do that, and
because you have to break yourself. You have to break yourself. That's the cool thing about I've never gone into the military, but I always want to do boot camp. I thought the boot camp, you're waking up, you're getting yelled at. I love that stuff because it breaks you from that comfortable feeling.
They wake up and
exactly. You're scrolling for 3 or 4 hours. You're warm in the bed. Oh, it feels phenomenal. Mm-hmm. The reason why a lot of people don't move is because their dopamine levels they're so addicted to that.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And so they scroll, and you can scroll for hours and not even think about it. Yeah. But if I gave you a book, you'd fall asleep in probably 10, 15 minutes.
More like 10, 15 seconds.
Right, because your brain is so conditioned to be dependent on dopamine, right? This is what feels good. Oh, this feels so good. This feels so good.
Yeah.
But what's happening in your life, and we all have these friends where they're like, yeah, so I'm going to come out with this. I'm going to do this. And they can give you a whole agenda. Check on them 3 years later. Not one thing has been executed on. And you're like, wow, you're still living with your mom?
Uh-oh.
Really? In your 40s? You still living off that girl?
You know people who still living with their folks in their 40s? Oh, man.
Either that or they went back again because they crapped out in some way, shape, or form. But I don't believe every adult in this world is responsible for themselves. There's no reason why you should ever need anything else from another human being as an adult. Jesus. And if you are, whether you're that man in that relationship and your girl's driving you around and, she's paying for you, she's covering you, she's taking care of you, and then there's kids on top of that.
Right.
You need help. You're literally lazy. And the same for a woman, right? Yeah, everybody has to do for self. And so part of what we're talking about of being uncomfortable, what makes you successful is that you do what's not comfortable to you. Yeah. And when you're changing things, you have to tap into that quite a bit.
Right. And then I think we've been doing pretty good. Oh yeah, 30 minutes so. Yeah. So and then to wrap this up, tell people, I guess what you would do if you were literally just starting out again, and you're like, oh, I want to kind of give people a sort of rundown of what you would do. Would you go straight to the LLC? Would you already know what you want to do? Kind of quick synopsis of what you would do.
I would honestly, if I were
In 2024.
In 2024.
So you're starting out right now.
You're starting out today. So if I woke up today, so say I'm a worker, right? And you're just thinking, okay, you know what? She's right. I do have to create something for myself. I do have to build something for myself. I would say start journaling and writing down what is that you want. So just go inside and like brainstorm with yourself. It's not about let me wake up and you know what? You could wake up and create an LLC tonight.
Right there,
now. Why not? Just while you're listening to this, click on your other tab and create an LLC. Do that if you want to.
Yeah.
But I would encourage journaling because that also starts getting your brain to be uncomfortable around creation now. Now you're brainstorming. Like it's a mindset activity. That's why a lot of successful organizations do something called sprints. Because sprints are, okay, I'm going to do this for this long to get here. I'm going to do this for this long to get here. And so you set milestones, right? So if you want to start a business, I would do a sprint on straight brainstorming and journaling. What is it that I want to do?
It's
then by
sprints.
this date, it's big in project management technology. Do it all the time. Wow. I'm going to take it's like when you do interval training.
Okay,
Sprint for 30, walk for a minute.
Right, okay.
So you're sprinting because you set a short-term goal that's easily achievable, and you set a milestone to it.
Okay. Yeah.
So what happens is you have this big thing you want to achieve. You want to run this business, but you're breaking it up with small activities that help you get there, but you're holding yourself accountable to your milestones.
Okay, right? Gotcha.
So I would say journal, brainstorm, set your sprints, like your timeline. Okay, so you journal. So you don't want to journal and brainstorm ad nauseum.
Right, yeah. Just enough.
Okay, you do that enough so that in the next 2 weeks you're now opening your LLC. Right?
Okay.
You're thinking about your website. What does your website look like? What are you trying to sell? Who's your market? And remember, your market can't just be your people. It's got to be. We have to think globally. It's not even just the U.S. What about the rest of the world? Maybe this is a demand. Like, how do you create that demand beyond just people in your social circle?
Yeah.
Right? What about people in other countries? How can you actually really draw this to be a global solution for the world? Right?
We're going to talk about that.
Think of something that inconveniences you. Think of something that you are like, oh my God. Like, for example, before Wi-Fi, we had to plug the little cord in the side of our computer and AOL. Right?
Man!
And I wish I jumped on this. So it was just like, wow, these cords are so annoying. They're like, I'm tripping over them. I gotta wait for it to connect.
Yeah.
The solution was Wi-Fi, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, think of something that's an inconvenience to you, and create a solution for it. So get your LLC. Duns and Bradstreet, build your credit. Like, all of these things are attainable, and it doesn't take, but also take at least and commit to the discipline and focus so that when you are off of work, serving that thing, right? Yeah. You're also putting just as much energy into you, your legacy, your purpose, your being.
Right.
The infusion of cash that comes at the 15th and 30th is great, and it's easy.
Yeah,
right?
Easy, yeah.
Until it's not.
Right.
But that is the thing that's keeping you lazy and from thinking outside the box. So be comfortable with putting some time towards yourself. That also comes with self-love.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
right? I don't have to, this CEO, that's his idea.
Yeah,
The founders, that's their ideas. What about me? Like, am I just going to be the worker? Right? Because I'll tell you what, when you die, the CEO and founder will not be at your funeral, and they're never going to give you an infusion of cash, right?
Nope.
So just something to think about. Just start journaling and just get started. Don't overthink it, and surround yourself with a different group of people, because have a diversity of people. Not all workers think like this.
Right.
It's just like you see a lot of those people. I'm just here to do my job.
Yeah.
They go home, eat, go to sleep. That's the sickest sight. And then go to Amazon and buy a bunch of stuff, right? Because they don't want to leave their house, of course. And they're probably door dashing the food too, even if they are cooking. I don't know, whatever the case may be. Bottom line is that eat, that work, consume, die.
That's what that is.
You got to stay away from those people. Ooh. There's a movie about that too.
It is?
Which one? I forgot. It's a Disney movie.
You talking about
Wally.
Wally, yeah.
That's
Wally.
prophetic.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we see.
They be dropping.
We don't
hints
even
in
go
the
outside
movie.
anymore. We just order everything from in the house.
Look, we shoot, we gotta get on this. Let me stop. Okay. so what you're saying, Mari in 2024, she was just starting off. You would get down to business. You would work your job. Then
Maybe
come
go to some
home.
networking events too. Like
Go to some
start meeting people. Like
yeah.
connecting. Get out your bubble.
Talk about, you know what? Well, so here's what we're gonna do, y'all. Cause we're gonna talk about this in the next episode. We're gonna end this episode for you guys now. And again, thanks so much, Mari, for letting us stay in your beautiful home, film here, shoot here. This is the second episode of Cashflow Conversations with Mari Kemp, co-hosted by Akil Wade as well. You can follow us on Instagram, social media, Lightstream Film.
Lightstream Films, that's right.
Mari Kemp at Mari Kemp 1, and then we're gonna make a Cashflow Conversations page. I think we should just do that too. Have that theme page going. But thank you guys so much for listening in. We hope you enjoy the content. More is on the way. There's more to come. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We're doing a lot, you guys.
We have a lot to say.
We
have a lot to say.
We working, but we ain't no workers.
We are not workers.
We ain't working, but we working. You know?
Absolutely.
Okay. But thank you guys so much. And again, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want us to talk about anything specific or you want to learn about other stuff, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we'll talk about it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. All right.